What is up, everybody? Dan the Fireman here. I want to talk to you about the 2018 Indian Scout Bobber and the 2018 Harley Davidson 48. Both of these are for the bobber look. Harley Davidson and Indian are two of the bigger cruiser motorcycle manufacturers out there. Indian put out the bobber this year, and Harley Davidson has had the Sportster 48 for a little while now, but it's not as much of a bobber in terms of the Indian. But if you are going towards that bobber look, these are the bikes you want to go for in the lower CC market. It's kind of hard to get a really big bobber in the touring line. So this right here is my walk around in the Indian Scout bobber. This is what you've been watching for a little bit. I went here at Indian Motorcycle Tucson, checked it out, awesome looking bike. Now the bikes come in different price ranges. Let's go ahead and start off with that. For Thunder Black, it is $11,499. For Star Silver Smoke, Bronze Smoke, Indian Red, it is $11,999, and for the Thunder Black Smoke with ABS, which is actually a very good thing to have, ABS is great, is $12,499. Now, obviously, now taxes and all that other stuff, but that's how much they cost. Now, for all the bikes, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get a 69 cubic inch liquid cooled V-twin, which is 1,133 cc's. It comes with a 6-speed and it's a belt. Has 100 horsepower at 8,100 RPMs. Now the claimed torque is 72 pounds at 6,000 RPMs. It weighs 533 pounds dry. The front brake is a 2-piston caliper 298mm disc, and the rear brake is a single piston caliber 298mm disc. But what I like about this is that it actually has that bobber look. It cuts that rear fender back. You have that solo seat, really aggressive bars, and the headlight is just really, really big and just it's almost obnoxious, but it looks so good on the bike in person. You have really fat front and rear tires, and then you have forward controls. They're not mid controls on this bike. Super powerful bike, super fast bike at 100 horsepower, and it's a 6-speed bike. So I mean, you're going to do really well when it comes to interstate or highway riding and in-town riding. Now let's go ahead and talk about the 2018 Harley Davidson Sportster 48. The MSRP is $11,299. Now that is $200 less than the $11,499 Thunder Black Indian Scout Bobber, and it is cheaper than the Star Silver Smoke, Bronze Smoke, Indian Red at basically $12,000. Now, what I didn't mention with the Indian Scout Bobber is that the seat height on the Indian Scout Bobber is 25.6 inches. Harley Sportster 48 has a 28-inch seat height. So if you are a shorter person, maybe the Indian Scout Bobber would be better than this, but I am 5'6". I have a 30-inch inseam. The 28-inch seat height on my Sportster has not been a problem. So if you're anything lower than 5'6", maybe take a look, sit on the bike. If you're anything higher than 5'6", then you're golden either way. Now, this is a 1,200cc bike. Now, the Indian Scout Bobber is a little less at 11,033, but once again, the Indian Scout Bobber has 100 horsepower at 8,100 RPM. Now, Harley Davidson doesn't put out their horsepower on their Sportsters, but from what I was able to dig up, their horsepower is 67.7 horsepower at 5,680 RPM. Now, the Indian Scout has 100 horsepower, so you are going to have a faster bike and more horsepower in that bike compared to the Sportster 48, but you're also getting two different looks. The Indian is a little bit lower and more compact. At least that's how it feels to me. And then the Harley Sportster 48 has that nostalgia look, has that Harley look that I really love with my Sportster. But I mean, if you're going for the bobber look, I believe the Indian Scout Bobber has more of that look, but you can also customize so much with the Harley Sportster 48. So the Harley Sportster 48 is a great baseline bike, and I have actually talked about Sportsters on how they are basically like the Barbies in the the toy world, where you're able to just do anything you want. And I shouldn't probably say Barbie, I should say AR-15 for the guys here. And if you guys understand that AR-15, you can add so much customization, you can add so many things to it, change the way it looks just from the base. And same thing with the Harley Sportster 48. My buddy made his into a cafe racer. I've made my Nightster into a scrambler. So, I mean, there's just so many things you can do with that bike. And I talk more about that. And there's going to be a card in the upper right if you want to check that out, or a link in the description. But so far, if you want to take a look spec by spec by spec and what's better and what's not and whatever's in your mind, the Indian Scout Bobber does have more horsepower. It does have another gear. It's a 6-speed instead of a 5-speed like the Harley 48. You are going to have more power with the Indian Scout. It's going to cost a little bit more, though. You are going to have to pay a slight premium in that. It's going to be $200 more if you just go for the Thunder Black and the Indian Scout. If you go for anything else, it's going to be $12,000, so about $800 more. And if you want to get ABS, it's going to be another $1,300 more. But ABS is an extremely safe thing to get, and it's something really good to have. But overall, I think for the price, if you can spend a little bit more, I think the Indian Scout Bobber is the better of the two bikes to get. But that is my personal preference. If you guys have a different personal preference, please write it in the comments below. This is more of an opinion piece, and I'm just stating out some facts that I'm reading and I've seen in person. And if you guys like the Harley 48 more than the Indian Scout Bobber, like I said, write in the comments and we'll have a discussion there. And maybe there's something I missed that you guys will definitely point out, and we'll help each other when it comes to buying the perfect bike for that perfect person, so that we can, just educate each other. That's what we're here for. So guys, if you like this video, click that subscribe button. Right next to it is a notification bell button. Every time I post a video, you are notified of my video, and then you will be the first one to see my video and then comment. I love seeing those comments, saying first and notification squad. I love it. With that said, hope you guys ride safe, be safe, and I'll see you later.